I'm Tangent Turner, Database and Logistics Support. I was in cryo, bound for the MRP-6F mining colony, which I'm obviously not going to arrive at. I'm not sure what ship was being used for transport. I went into cryo Earthside. Um, I woke up to an automated evacuation alert. I was still really groggy. I don't think I saw anyone else. I just remember following the arrows on the deck plating while the ship's AI was talking to me. It might have been asking me questions. I'm a bit hazy on what exactly. When I got to the escape deck, there were only two pods left. I remembered hesitating and thinking about looking for others, but a really loud klaxon alarm started, and the AI just started talking. Emergency lander away, suboptimal atmospheric re-entry trajectory, and then, I shit you not, impact with uncharted moon in 30 seconds. The moment I was fully in the pod, the ship's AI must have sealed it and launched. Come to think of it, in order to do that, it would have had to bypass quite a few safety systems. Anyways, I blacked out from the launch. I don't think I hit my head. There's no blood, no bump, no pain, but maybe that's the adrenaline. I woke up in a tangled mess with the EVA suit that was on the pod seat. The suit pack tools are pretty standard for mining support ships. Sorry, I'm logistics. Logistics and inventories are not that important in an emergency transmission and orbital buoy. The important stuff. No one is responding on comms, not even the ship AI. I've only seen a star field out this viewport, and nothing I recognize. This lander is about to separate from the EOCD, so I'm recording this message for any salvage operation. You and I both know a ship isn't getting out here in time for a rescue. I can see the planet now. The EOCD is rotating. I guess probably prep for separation. The planet is red. Best guess is thin atmo. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of what Mars looked like before we got there. I have a general idea of what is included in an emergency pod survival crate, assuming one is actually attached, and assuming this pod has been maintained well enough to get me planetside. The little yellow button for pod separation just started blinking. So, I'm out of time, it seems. When you get here, have a look planetside on the off chance that I'm, on the off chance I survive long enough to win whatever pool you have going for how long I survived. Put me down for a year. I'm good for it.
Good afternoon, I'm Tangent Turner, and this is Stationeers, Season 1, MSB. Mars, Stationeer difficulty, brutal start. I'm new to recording Let's Plays. I used to stream a little bit, but I usually end up focusing on the game and not talking a whole lot, which is not great for a stream, or talking too much and trying to teach game mechanics to an empty room or to my potted plants. So I figured, empty rooms? Potted plants? Stationeers is a good game for that. Let's go ahead and create our world. I'm going to select Mars, and my personal preference is Hellas Cracks. I find it to be one of the easier, balanced starts. Some of these can be quite a bit harder, but we're gonna run with Hellas Cracks. We're going to be on the Stationeer difficulty, where eating and drinking is disabled, but that's disabled on normal. Weather damage to the lunar is doubled. The lander never survives past the first storm anyways. Nutrition and hydration are at a rate and a half. Breathing is at double. I'm not a robot, so I don't care about robot batteries. The mood reduction and hygiene reduction is 2x. jetpack consumption is 5x, and lung damage is up to 4. Offline metabolism, I don't plan on playing online, so that's not going to affect me very much. And we're going to be choosing the brutal start. Let's name this real quick, Season 1, MSB. So, minimal supplies to start. A little bit of lore is that something bad has happened and we're going planet side, but we didn't get to take much with us. Now, before I get started, I want to mention that this is a modded playthrough. There's a lot of mods installed. Many of them are graphic. There's a couple of gameplay ones. The most important one that you're going to notice early is that the day is longer. A typical Stationeers day is 20 minutes. When I play, they're 30 minutes. So they're a little bit longer, but that's just because I can't handle how Minecraft 20-minute days are. So, as we get started, there are a few things that I do on any new game. You're probably familiar with most of them. I'm going to immediately turn off my suit light, open all of my bags, and reduce my suit pressure down to 50 kPa. And there we are. First thing is put my atmosphere card into my tablet and grab the food and the water out of the lander. And that's our time with the lander completed. And grab our box of supplies here. Looks like we've got really close silicon there, so that's going to be good. I like the Hella start because it's got this nice flat area right at the beginning. So let's put this here. I like how the ores are randomized on New World Creation and Stationeers. It does mean we're going to change things up a little bit and go ahead and mine up some of that silicon. We're going to need it later, and our base is going to be right on top of it. I mean, strictly speaking, we could pressurize this and mine this at night. Which might be a little overkill. But we will go ahead and probably mine all of this away so that there's nothing left down here. Oh dear, we're also right on top of gold. That's, I don't know if I should say fortuitous or worrisome. Oh, that's not gold, that's copper. Pay attention. It's all things we need, so can't complain about it too much. It is going to change what we have to find when we go out mining, but I do not mind. The first day, when there's a little bit of sun, it's always good to get a little bit of mining done. I usually save a little bit of my base construction for nighttime. Most of that is temperature related. When you're using that welding torch during the day, you have all of that high heat to contend with. And high heat requires more oxygen used by your suit to keep you from getting heat stroke, to keep you nice and cool. Oh, let's get back out of this hole. Oh, I can't pass. Oh, lordy, we're rich. We built our base. We built this base on iron, copper, and silicon. Cheats, hacks, cheats. You know what this means, though? This means later in the game, we're gonna have a basement. I don't typically fly to do my mining, but at the moment, I don't have a whole lot of a choice if I want to make sure I get all of this. Alright, so we have an exit out. That's good. which means we're gonna stop mining if we have another way out. But there's a little bit of silicon right there you missed. There we go. All right. Yeah, that's a little ahead of schedule of what I was planning to do, but you know, that's fine. Switch these out. Let's get the network card out of my inventory, get this out of my inventory. We're gonna need this. Switch out our duct tape for our welder and get the basic welding that we have to get done. I'm gonna try and move around a little bit so I'm not constantly standing in the heat plume created by using the welder. Try to move myself at least most of a block away from where I was last. We're going to need another 2 floors to deal with that. So let's install this one and install this one. There we go. You know what? We can go ahead and install this one as well. And we'll put this back here and get back to welding. If I figure out where I put my welder. So this base design is not mine originally. I have optimized it, but I got this from watching a Let's Play myself. And once I saw how quickly it went up and how useful it was, I kind of stuck with the design. At least for all the times that I'm getting started. Alright, so let's put some of this away and we'll get it a little bit later, but we need to get some of this installed quick. Alright. You get installed here. I don't care where you go. You and you come with me. We're going to put you up here on the roof. Now, placement matters for your solar panels. You want your power headed east. The reason for that is it simplifies the electronic tracking you have to do to get this always pointing towards the sun, which we won't have for a couple of days. What angle are you at? You're at almost exactly 180. So I love how that just keeps turning after you set it. You can just set it and move on with doing whatever you need to do next. Which for me is getting some wires installed. So we're going to run these wires downstairs. Now if we're lucky, we will only have to go up there maybe 1 or 2 more times. In order to change the orientation of that that solar panel. There we go. That's nice. Alright, let's put that away. Let's get this battery put away before it gets dark and we lose it. Next up is we gotta get this arc furnace set up. There we go. We're gonna put the arc furnace right there. Make sure it gets power. And since we've already got this power going, we're going to start by cooking up some of our iron. And while that's going, we're going to install, well, let's get rid of some of the other items in our inventory that are taking up space. We're going to install the auto lathe while that is cooking up. So you might be asking yourself, why did you put a frame right there in the middle of the base? Well, that frame is going to let me stack my equipment, which is really handy early on when you want an indoors workshop, but you don't want to, you know, die of thirst trying to build it in the first night. I have some, what you might think is a strange placement for my arc furnace out here. I tend to do a lot of minimalist planning, so you don't really have time on a Stationeer difficulty to be goofing around with designing the perfect base. So having one in mind that you've worked on, that you can just put up quickly. All right, so we don't have that. So let's go ahead and do pipe while we're waiting for the rest of the copper to smelt up. We'll grab our container and we'll, come on, bring it inside. Even though we don't have walls yet, but you know, it's a process. But yeah, early Stationeer is kind of like a speed run, and because it's kind of like a speed run, I make lists of what I need and what order I should be building things in. You know, I'm gonna change how I do this time. I typically build it one way, but you're gonna see something new today, slightly new. And you know what? We're gonna do that on both sides. It's gonna look great. Come on, there you go. We're gonna grab our active vent and we're gonna pop it right there. And we're gonna turn that active vent on, because we're gonna cause something bad to happen. We're collecting air right now and we're shoving it into this pipe network. But why? Why are you doing that? Well, because we're going to burst the pipes. A burst pipe acts as a poor man's passive vent, so to speak. We're going to go ahead and switch this out for our silicon, because we're going to need that more. Now that we have this, we can make our 2 doors we're going to need. So about the base, yeah, some work goes into planning. I like to be prepared, you know, the old Boy Scout marching song. Turn that off, grab these. Now, placing these doors gets weird sometimes. I have to place them from the inside, do that. Let's go ahead and switch this over right now too, and get this other one getting ready to burst. Let's get our walls going. We're going to need 7 of those for the base. I mean, be prepared doesn't have to be the Boy Scouts. It could also be a lion talking about regicide, which, honestly, I'm there we are. We have a burst pipe, which is a nice passive vent for us. Let's turn this off for a second. How's this doing? I can't tell. It doesn't sound great though. So let's get rid of that and remove half the system so it gets even worse. Alright, the battery is now fully charged somehow. I guess we got the rotation pretty good. So we're going to put put this back over here. And our pipe has finally burst, and at least a little bit of water in here. It's not water, it's actually pollution, but you know, it's a liquid. That's done, so we got our silicone. We'll slap our silicone in there, turn this back on, and go for glass. And we're gonna need 7 sheets of glass. There's our 7 sheets of glass. We're going to need a little bit more iron sheets. So we'll get some of that going. We're not using you currently, so let's turn you off. How many is that? 4? 5? That should be enough for right now. So we'll turn that off and we'll go back to using our suit. We'll grab our walls, and you get to see another mod that I'm using. This mod adds arrows to your wall layout, so you always know where up is going to be. I got tired of my windows constantly alternating vertical and horizontal bars, so this mod lets me avoid that. Oh, watch the giant hole. Gonna have to watch the death hole at the entrance to our base. No, it's not technically the entrance. I might be able to cover it up with the cladding I want to... Oh yeah, let's do that real quick. If you've not heard of cladding yet, stuff is amazing. Alright, we got our cladding made. We're going to finish off our windows. We're very close to being able to have our... Did I miss a window? Yeah, I missed this window. And it's harder to select because of that frame. Let's turn this off again. Let's go back out here. Get this cladding installed. So yeah, free stairs for really cheap. All right, let's turn the light off. Let's check our list here. These need welded up. So we need to weld up our doors. Up. Good. They both turn in the direction I want them to. Alright, so we have a space for our oxygen, but we have a little bit of a problem. Because of how mining worked, we don't have oxygen or oxite to make it. We did not get out on our mining trip as we originally wanted. Looks like we got more silicon. Some coal. I'm keeping in mind the general direction that the base is, so I'm not technically lost at night. Oh, I know what's going on. Switch these belts. These belts. There we go. Didn't have my mining belt re-equipped. Open that. We're going to want at least a stack of this stuff. I wouldn't mind having a little bit extra for emergency purposes. But no, or random ore generation for this time around, right on top of 3 different ores, makes for a pretty nice start. I'm looking now to see if I see any solid lines crossing the horizon. But I don't need to, because there's my blinking lights. Alright, so we can close this, and we can turn this back on. And then get our... Oh, unlock that. Close that.
Hydration critical.
I know, we're getting down there. 19%. We're not that bad. There it is. Back in here. So we are depressurizing our base right now. Now, I don't need a full depressurization. I just need the pollutants out of here. Pollutants are, well, if I have pollutants in here and I put the oxygen in here and I open my helmet, my waste tank will get that pollutant in it. And I don't want that. I want my waste tank to be clean, and I want the air that I breathe to be relatively clean. How much powder? Well, we do not have much battery power left. We'll switch that out so that this can keep going. Hopefully. Turn that off for now. We'll just bask in the glow of our buttons. Again, that's one of our mods. Alright, so... oh, there's still a little bit of pollution in this block. We got pollutants mixed out of the rest of the base. Pressure's going down really low. Feels like it's taken longer than it normally does. I wonder if that's because we're right above that the hole. Although we shouldn't have a gap down to any of that. So this 2x3 with an airlock should be the full size of our base that it's depressurizing. Man, that pressure is going really slow. Slash not going at all now. Okay, turn it off, turn it back on. Maybe we're just having an issue with the tick updates happening. But yeah, we're almost to our first goal. We're almost to a pressurized sealed room with oxygen that I can drink my water in. If I can figure out, is there a hole somewhere? Did I forget a window? Cause
power critical.
I know you told me that before, but like, oh man, that is so slow. I wonder if it's because half of this pipe leaks in here. Oh man, I bet you that's what it is. I change what I typically do. I typically have just a curve or a straight out there. Oh man. That's no good. That is no good at all. Right. And I'm going to need this. And I'm going to need to turn you back on. We're going to lose a little bit of our health, I think, dealing with this slight problem. But the good news is we're going to burst a pipe a lot faster than we did previously. We're going to get this probably up to 500 stress and then remove the other pipe from it. There we go. Now, turn you off so we're not using our power. But yeah, I bet you anything the suction pipe was bleeding through this gap because it's technically half inside there. And so we were just depressurizing what we'd already depressurized, or letting our depressurization back in a little bit at a time. That's all I can come up with. I'm usually drinking my drink around 10% water, but see, this is why you don't change your base design when you're super used to it. There we go. Close that, open that, turn that back on. How we doing? How did you get this whole room got pressure again? 97. We'll probably get down to 85, I'm guessing, at this rate.
Oxygen low. Oxygen low.
I'm like, what? What's causing that?
Oxygen critical.
That would be my suit battery being dead. Oh, come on, get this last bit. Oh, it's going so slow. You don't think it's the dirt, do you? Okay, pollutants is out of this one. Pollutants is out of this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Pollutants are out of here too. Okay, we're good. Drop one of those stacks. Vent my gas tank. Turn that off. Alright, come on baby, get that pressure up. And there's 20. Let's open our suit and let's get that drink. Got to 90, so that's not too bad. Whew. Yeah, don't change your pre-established base because you think it'll look cool. That's how you die in horrible ways. So let's fix this side of the pipe so that we're not dealing with that at the beginning of next episode. If I can mouse over it. Okay, it wants to remove the frame, which I'm going to remove the frame. I can put the frame back. It's not actually like it was removing a wall. I'm going to need 2 pipes. So let's get that replaced. But yeah, we have accomplished goal 1. We have a pressurized, oxygenated environment where we can eat and drink. There we go. Grab our 2 pipes. Turn you off to conserve power. We'll put this pipe back. And this pipe back. Get my hand drill. Reinstall that. Turn that one. Now we're not going to have as good of a break this time because we're not going to have that temperature. I'm going to want this to remove this. Alright, so it's slowly taking up. So with the sound of metal rending and pipes bursting, that's going to wrap us up for this episode. What am I doing right? What am I massively screwing up other than digging a hole directly underneath my base and changing the design? Leave me a comment and let me know. If you have any questions about something I've done, I can answer that as well. I try to record 2 episodes at a time, roughly 30 minutes each, covering one day-night cycle with my current mod settings. My mod list is available on my channel as its own video. And thank you for watching. It sounds so bad. Oh, there we go. That's a lot of gas fit into that really small pipe. Okay, and with that, see you to the episode. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.